What's up, everybody? Brandon Rahi here, coming at you for this week's episode of the Go Headquarters podcast. I am flying solo today to talk to you a little bit about some of the ways you can view your fitness journey. So just a little different take on the mentality. A couple little points I wanted to go over, and this was actually inspired by an article I recently read by James Clear. I forgot where I saw this, somewhere popped up in my Facebook newsfeed or something. But he had an article about 6 exercise tips, basically. But his first tip of the 6 was pertaining to like committing for the long term to the gym. And he had a lot of good points to talk about that. And I just wanted to elaborate on some of those topics. So I'm not going to go over the whole 6 points. I'm just going to talk about the commitment for the long term here. And the mentality going into this is really important because we definitely deal with this a lot. When we get new clients coming in, they always have like these kind of short and long-term goals, which are extremely valid. You know, they come in and they say, hey, I want to lose this many pounds in this many weeks, et cetera, et cetera. But when we get into really long-term goals where we're talking about a year, 5 years, 10 years, some of that stuff gets lost in translation, and it's hard to say, you know, where they view themselves that far out. So anyway, some of these tips are, almost getting rid of the short-term goals in mind entirely. So you've got to look at it long-term. So it's not lose 40 pounds in the next 12 weeks. The goal is to regain your health for the rest of your life moving forward. This is probably the most common aspect of this. And of course, we want to set up those short-term goals to begin with, losing a certain amount of weight or being able to run a 5K in a certain time frame. But ultimately, those are just little stepping stones for that long-term journey. And it's really hard to get dialed in on that mentality. And it's hard for us as trainers and coaches to instill that type of mentality into clients, even though we have those conversations to begin with. But that's definitely something I'd encourage you to do, is think about long-term plans. If you're 40 years old and you need to lose some weight and start getting back in shape because you let yourself slip, you've got to think about what your life looks like when you're 60 and up, not just when you're 41 and 42. Really hard to see that far in the future though, but do the absolute best you can to imagine that scenario, what you want to be doing then, how fit you're going to be, how strong you're going to be, if you're going to be playing with grandkids, what kind of lifestyle you want to have at that point, or are you reduced to a walker because you're so unable and out of shape. Same thing with strength goals. Men in particular get caught up in like how much weight they can lift, right? They want to bench press 300 pounds. So the goal isn't necessarily what you can do short-term performance-wise, because right out of the gates, none of that stuff matters in the long run. What you want to do is shoot for like attendance goals. You want to be the guy that never misses the workout. If you have perfect attendance all the time and you're one of the most dedicated people in your gym or working with your trainer, you're the one that's going to see the results over the people that are very hit and miss with their attendance, don't do their homework assignments, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be a goal in and of itself, is just attendance. The results come from putting in that time and effort and consistency, and you just have to have a certain amount of faith with that system and the science behind this process. Another one would be, don't sacrifice everything for, like, on the road to your goals. Don't sacrifice it all for next month's 5K. This is really common, probably number 2 that I see compared to the weight loss goal for a certain short time frame. People will be training, they'll be doing strength workouts, they'll be doing some circuit training, they'll be doing running, and this person, for instance, has gotten into running 5Ks, and they're trying to maybe break that 30-minute barrier. And so they just think that running more and running more and running more is going to get that 30-minute barrier, to happen. And that's actually very much not the case. You've got to continue doing strength training and doing cross training and things to reach that goal. And they'll continue sacrificing their strength training workouts, their circuit training workouts like Fit Camp or whatever else, because they think that those training workouts are going to mess up their runs. They think, oh, my legs are sore from squats and lunges, and it's going to mess up my training run because I've got my long run on Saturday. Well, again, couldn't be further from the truth. Those are the people that are always going to stay just over 30 minutes on their 5K, and they're going to struggle with that for who knows how long. you've got to have faith in the system that doing other things will strengthen you and help recover you better from running for running. So you don't really want to run to train, you kind of want to train to run. And that's a really hard sell on people when they get into running. Running can be great when done properly and programmed effectively, but it's just easy to get caught up on that one. So I do my best to encourage you to continue doing proper strength training, and I think you'll avoid injuries better. All sorts of good stuff coming from that. So again, coming back to the long-term commitment and concept is that the goal isn't to be faster this month than you were last month. It's to be faster next year than you are today, and be faster 2 years from now than you are next year. That's how long-term you've got to think about this stuff. So missing leg workouts for the sake of running is not the way to go about that. Long-term mentality, that's what all this comes back to. Another one is like gym life and healthy lifestyle. People think is almost an annoying thing that they have to go do when they start the process. It's like a sacrifice. It's some sort of obligation. It's not normal. That the week that they go to the gym is like, ooh, I did good. I went to the gym this week. You've got to develop that sense of normalcy. You get up every day and you like eat breakfast and you brush your teeth and you go to work and you do daily house duties. Those are all, normal. The gym can be just as normal as any of those daily duties that we just described. So getting that mentality early on will really, really help establish success for, high levels of attendance and commitment to your homework assignments. Again, if one of those goals is really high attendance rate in the gym, to never miss that workout, that sense of normalcy will come much earlier on in your fitness journey. And this all just comes down to the concept of average speed. If you're, slow and steady wins the race kind of a mentality. If you come out of the gates really, really strong and you're trying to establish all of these short-term goals, hit certain performance numbers, hit certain weight loss numbers, etc., you risk kind of burning out, losing some excitement, and then you start riding that yo-yo effect roller coaster of in and out of training, inconsistencies, injury rates, you're up and down with your nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So think about long-term commitment, long-term progress, forget about the short term. The results will absolutely come if you apply all those things. And if you need any help with that, definitely come see one of us trainers at Go Headquarters, goheadquarters.com, and enjoy your week.